of commentary as we're heading out into the main lake here. You notice we had to knock all our stuff down as far as rods sticking up to get under these bridges. Shows how high the water is currently, but these bridges are vastly overlooked spots to fish because they set up current, especially as the wind blows different directions through the lake and moves the water back and forth. And then also they're great shore fishing opportunities, which Devil's Lake abounds for that. So you don't need a big expensive boat to come out here and have a good time. You know, just some basic equipment, heck, a rod and a fistful of jigs and a couple of crankbaits, and you can catch probably just as many fish on a lot of days as the guys do out in the boat. Silver bass, obviously, if you want fast action or something that are fun, and they're big here. So I guess the moral of the story being, don't hold yourself back because you think you need all this fancy stuff to get out and fish. Just get out and do it. If you want to graduate up to this stuff, you certainly can in the future. Now I'm going to be careful. That stuff ain't sticking up much higher than we are. All right, we've just got to our first spot here, and actually on a body of water this big. It's not a spot I just picked out of the blue. I actually called ahead. I got a buddy, Ansel Reynolds, that guides up here, Ansel's Guide Service. Give me a laundry list of probably 10 different spots to try. But one of the things he said he did fish yesterday morning, he did quite well on, was smile blades and leeches. And he was using a pink. The first one I grabbed out of my box is a purple. Gonna be pretty darn close, and I'm kind of partial to purple. But the nice thing I like about these is you can use them at any speed. We got a pretty good sized wind here today, so we're drifting along at a pretty good clip. You can run them clear up to 2 miles an hour, a little bit over, or you can be real precise live bait fishing with them, and these things will turn at a 1/4 mile an hour. And I kind of like they got that kind of flippy floppy, wounded, something's wrong looking action to them. I'll go ahead and unpackage this, and I'll show you a little trick how I hook the leeches on these, and it may open your eyes. All right, what I was referring to and how I hook these leeches is, you can tell we're using a slow death hook, which is obviously designed to fish half a crawler with the bent angle to it, spins crawler in the water. I found that we can use these on leeches, and what a guy can do is take and lightly hook them through the sucker, as I've done here. And then what I do is just let it bunch up a little piece of meat. And then, as you can see there, I've actually double hooked it. That does two different things. One, it makes it incredibly tough for the fish to pull that off, particularly if you're dealing with panfish or little fish pecking away at it. And then two, it'll take and twirl that leech, and it sounds goofy, but I gotta tell you, it really works. And what I like it for is a dead rod, because you're not worried about babysitting it as much. If it's getting pecked at, you don't have to reel it up and keep checking your bait on the thing. First fish of the day. And the attitude's anything, the way he took it. I'm not sure we're gonna get off. Here's a little testament to the way we're hooking these leeches. As you can see, I can turn around and run him right back out there. They're just that tough. Particularly you get in numbers of fish, that can be beneficial. I want to pass along a little bow control tip here. What we're doing is, I'm going to take and drift down the shoreline, but the wind isn't blowing parallel with the shoreline. It's coming in at about a 45-degree angle. So what I'm doing is I'm using the trolling motor not on autopilot, because I want it just headed one direction, pointed slightly out and slightly into the wind, as you can see that. And what that'll do is it'll compensate us getting pushed in and I call it kind of a scissor drift. What we'll do is we'll just kind of slide along this shoreline. So you don't need the wind to be perfect for you to push your boat just straight with the wind. You can adjust your boat and the attitude of it to make it do what you want. And the beauty of that is the wind is pushing into the shoreline, which should make it better. Another tip too is you can monkey around with your big motor, how it sits in the water. You can lift it out of the water, you can turn angles on the thing, you can even put the prop in or out of gear, depending on the situation, to create a little more resistance. So there's just a lot of things you can play with. And then obviously drift socks. If there's one piece of equipment I see that a lot of folks don't own, that walleye fish, particularly on these big windswept waters we have here in the Dakotas, is drift socks. It's probably the best investment you can make as far as boat control goes. So if you're not employing them, pick yourself up one or two, play around with them. They'll darn sure help you put more fish in the boat. Well, I tell you, we've been fighting this wind, and the only spot we've had any fish of any consistency is right off the tip of a point. Very, very small area. We actually pulled crankbaits down the shoreline to see if we couldn't extend it. And as we come off the tip, we're just making a comment, we're marking really nice fish. And as typical pulling crankbaits, we were hung up on one line, and then this went back, and this feels to be a good fish. Fairly close now. Thing I'm battling with here sideways with the wind. What I'm going to try to do is get the boat going somewhat with the wind if we can here. There we go. Tight. Yes, yeah. Well, we were hoping it was a walleye, but not.
Midwest Gun Dog Kennels is your full-time gun dog training facility. For over 30 years, we have customized our training to fit each individual gun dog. We know it takes a well-trained gun dog to handle wild birds. Make every hunting trip a dream trip. Let Midwest Gun Dog Kennels put excitement back into your hunt of a lifetime. Midwest Gun Dog Kennels, where experience equals excellence.
Make your next day on the water even better with Airwave Pedestal, the only air suspension system that can be custom adjusted to the weight of the rider. No unreliable springs, no oil-filled shocks to leak. Our patented design utilizes a two-stage suspension system to smooth out the roughest ride, while limiting travel to an industry-leading 2 inches. This boating season, enjoy your time on the water to the fullest. Find out how at airwavepedestal.com.
Dakota Pheasant Guide offers the best wild pheasant hunts from the Glacial Lakes area of South Dakota west to the Missouri River. Packages available include everything from self-guided to fully guided hunts. Book your bird hunting adventure now. Fishermen, iTime Promotions is your ticket to an enjoyable and successful day on the water. Call Dennis Foster for your outdoor adventure of a lifetime.
shake. I don't know. There he is. He's on top. He's on top. That's what we're doing here. A lot of people won't do this, but if he's not causing trouble, as long as you're real steady and don't let him flop too bad, get away with this. How's that for in front of the camera? And we got a bunch of somebody else's line with it too. Well, he wasn't getting off. Well, I gotta tell you folks, we've been struggling here all morning and had a pretty tough day yesterday in some big wind. And this is going back to old memories, fishing tournaments probably a dozen years ago, jointed shad rab. And that crawdad color just got set up, and by God, we got one right off the bat here, so maybe we're gonna stumble into something. Yeah, like I say, it's been frustrating, but I think we'll put it together here eventually. Might be. Maybe. Buddy. Alright. Okay, well, we're finally putting it together here. I'm going to get this back out just as soon as we can, and we're going to capitalize it now. What we're doing here, being this bite is tough, is we're using small lures, but they're high action lures. In this case, on the lead core, we got a little number 3 Hornet, which is a hard shaking lure. And then on the flat lines on braid, what we're running is number 5 jointed shad wraps. So they're smaller lures, but they are high action. This is something kind of key to note here too, is I have been sold on this Suffix lead core, the real thin stuff. I believe it's the 832. It does dive a little bit deeper than standard lead core, and then also it comes off the reel much smoother. You end up with a lot less of the backlash, you know, the lead core type issues that a guy runs into with it. Yeah, this is just absolutely crazy. We could not absolutely buy a bike for, oh God, what time is it? 3 hours probably. And now we get set up on this and we can't even get our rods changed out to all the same lures that we want because we keep getting hooked up. That's the moral of the story, is don't give up. They're nothing tremendously big, but they will eat and they are fun. That's good to know too. We got that on a different color. I did run another jointed shad. The original one was a crawdad color, and I ran more of a white color with a red bill on it to imitate some of the numerous white bass in the lake, and it worked as well. So that's telling us something there too. We can get by with some whites. All right, we may have put something together here, by God. This one might be a little better. Unless he's hooked sideways. Pretty good head shake. What we're on for structure, and this is no secret on Devil's Lake, it's called the Golden Highway, and what it is literally a submerged highway. And with the water conditions the way they are right now, it's about shook off. Topping out at 12, 13 feet, and we're running our stuff pretty darn tight to the bottom. Find out. skinny man, he's barely there. There we go. All right. Went from rejection to elation here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. All right, we just went up. This is a several mile pass, which is a beautiful part of it. Just got reset here. This may be a better fish. The smaller ones are coming up to the pass fairly quickly. This one's staying down. Got a boat right ahead of us, so I need to make sure we don't run him over. This may very well be a better fish unless it's something funny. No, that's a pretty good head shape there. Not exactly sure, but you don't come in easy. Ooh, long, whatever it is, it ain't a pipe. It's got a glimpse of this walleye. It looks awful slender. Mikey! Mikey! Well, he sure didn't fight much. Pull it out! Well, that's one way to unhook them. All right, that worked out.
High Point Pet Foods presents Country Creations Dog Foods, offering quality nutrition for the life of your canine companion. To fuel the fire of puppyhood into keeping the energy level high of an active young dog, optimizing the performance of the hard-charging adult, or having a quality diet for your senior canine companion. Country Creations has you covered with their quality formulas. Get in touch with High Point Pet Foods today. Midwest Gun Dog Kennels is your full-time gun dog training facility. For over 30 years, we have customized our training to fit each individual gun dog. We know it takes a well-trained gun dog to handle wild birds. Make every hunting trip a dream trip. Let Midwest Gun Dog Kennels put excitement back into your hunt of a lifetime. Midwest Gun Dog Kennels, where experience equals excellence.
Dakota Pheasant Guide offers the best wild pheasant hunts from the Glacial Lakes area of South Dakota west to the Missouri River. Packages available include everything from self-guided to fully guided hunts. Book your bird hunting adventure now. Fishermen, iTime Promotions is your ticket to an enjoyable and successful day on the water. Call Dennis Foster for your outdoor adventure of a lifetime.
kind of went through a tough stretch here. We thought we had them figured out, and then hadn't had a bite forever. And I literally got my goofy stuff box and got something out I've never used before. It's kind of an interesting little deal here, and I'll show it to you. Is this little wiggle hoochie from Max Lures, little fish there. What it does, it's got a crankbait type of bill through it. You can see the line goes through it, and it sits there with a crankbait action, and then you can put live bait on it. And the thing that I liked on the lead core, it vibrates enough with that crankbait type action that you can feel it. Make sure that it isn't fouled, but no more than just got the thing out and it got a fish, so it's worth playing with. All right, maybe it's just the area of this highway. We just got one on a little wiggle hoochie, and no more got that rod back out. We got bit here back on the jointed shad wraps again. This feels to be a better fish. It's not a pike. Kind of running the boat here at the same time. This is a walleye. This is decent. There, it's on top. I can look with that. Yeah, nice blue, quit it. Nice walleye. Okay, I don't know if I can get him in with our normal system here or not. There we go. Probably not the way to do in a tournament, but well, we're just starting to get kind of bummed out. But that's a nice chunky walleye, real representative of what Devil's Lake is capable of. We're in tough conditions here. You know, we're getting fish, but they've been smaller fish, but sure can't complain with something like that.
So everyone, Tanner here, just step behind the camera with Focus Outdoors TV. We're actually inside the Fireside Inn Suites here in Devil's Lake, their fish cleaning facility, which is something really unique about a lot of our hotels here in Devil's Lake have facilities like this for anglers, whether you're coming off the water for the day or you're coming off the ice. In the winter, you've got AC, you've got heat, so it's very controlled facilities. But just a great day on the water. Dennis and I, we covered some water today, had a lot of fun. Fought through some different scenarios, but ended up finding and putting together a pretty good plan. But Devil's Lake has a lot of different options for anglers coming to town, but most importantly, the website Devil's Lake ND has a great resource for traveling anglers coming to town. They update fishing reports on there every week. They give people ideas on where the bite is, color choices, hot areas. So they try to be as accommodating as they can here in the town. And a lot of the bait shops, like when we stopped at Ed's yesterday and started to get a feel for the area, they gave us a little introduction on how the bite's been, where they've been traveling, and where they've been looking for fish. So don't overlook a lot of these options in Devil's Lake, and I just think it's wonderful that there's hotels and different things like that have these kind of facilities right here on their property. You don't have to go to a fish cleaning station. You can come right back to the hotel, clean your fish, maybe have a beverage or two before you go out to eat, and I think it's a fitting end to a day like this on the water.
One thing I want you folks to notice, just an observation that I've made here, Lake Hawaii in South Dakota, Missouri River impoundment, I guess is what you would call my home water. And what we're seeing is these fish are just as chunky as our fish, and Lake Hawaii is really known for football type fish. And typically, if we have fish like this, there's probably a handful of fat. And what we're noticing with these is they're just really, really solid, dense fish. And we open them up, there's just a tiny, tiny dab of fat there. And you could probably refer to a biologist, but what I'm gonna guess on this is our fish on Hawaii are heavily smelt based, which is a really oily protein fish, and then also lake herring that we have. And these fish are more your typical bait fish, you know, your minnow species, sculpins, perch, that type of thing. And they're just chunks, but they don't have the pure amount of fat. And these fish, I'd be curious, if you were to weigh these fish against an average fish, you know, the same length, I would guess they would weigh up more because they're just absolutely chunky. And with that, you know, the misconception, walleyes don't fight, I'm here to tell you, these guys put up a struggle. These are very muscular fish, and obviously they're going to be excellent table fare. All right, folks, one thing I'd like to mention, we're very fortunate in the Dakotas to have these cleaning stations around, whether they're public or part of the motels at the Fireside Inn here in Devil's Lake, is to respect what these folks have done for you. Leave it completely spotless. We walked into this thing, you could have laid somebody down here and performed surgery and been good to go. Leave it the same way. It's just common respect for the hospitality. It's just common sense.